Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh nora, nora, nora tehilot, o sefelech. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh nora, nora, nora tehilot, o sefelech. Rahuvanecha, bokeh ayam lifnei Moshe. Seili, Seili, anu ve'ameru. Malchucha, Rahuvanecha, bokeh ayam lifnei Moshe. Seili, Seili, anu ve'ameru. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh nora, nora, nora tehilot, o sefelech. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh nora, nora, nora tehilot, o sefelech. Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed. Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh nora, nora, nora tehilot, o sefelech, o sefelech, o sefelech.
Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us, and you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Hashkivenu, page 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoveinu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu
Page 46, V'shamru v'nei Yisrael.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'toratam b'rit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'toratam b'rit haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'ritz olam uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinavash Shabbat v'yinavash Shabbat v'yinavash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'ritz olam.
In Gadal ve'it Kadash ve'rava, Amen. Ve'almadi v'nachirotei ve'amlich malchutei, B'chai echon u'b'yom echon, u'b'chai dechol Beit Yisrael, B'galav izman kariv ve'immeru Amen. B'galav izman kariv ve'immeru Amen. Amen. Yehi Shnei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnasei ve'yithadar ve'yitale ve'yithadal shemei dekodesha richu le'elam min kol mirchata ve'shirata tushbechata ve'nechemata tamiran be'alma ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen amen.
And now we continue silent prayer, page 47 through page 52.
Page 51, join together. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael achad, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael achad, tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon l'chol hashalom. Ki אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום שלום רב על ישראל לך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל לך תשים לעולם וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב על ישראל לך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל לך תשים לעולם ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל It's time to put your arms around each other and let's all join together in Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, Shalom aleinu, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Your turn. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, Amen. Amen. Amen.
And now let's continue our prayers. And this time we pray for those who are ill, those who are sick at this time, who need an extra prayer, a prayer of strength, a prayer of comfort, a prayer of peace, a prayer of refuah shlema, a complete healing. The Misha Barak prayer found in the inside back cover of our Sidurim.
מי שברך אבותינו, מקור הברכה לאמותינו, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and all of those we love. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Please be seated now. So we continue in our prayer books, page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
יגדל יתקדש מרבה בעלמדי וחיותי ויעמיק מלכותי וחייכון ובמכרון וחי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי נקודשה בריחו לעילה מכל מחדה ושירתה ושבחדה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן תתכוון צלותנו ואהבתנו לכל ישראל תודה מבועני בשמיה ואמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה לחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
So every February, we have an opportunity as a community to commemorate Shabbat together. And as part of that Shabbat, we always have the blessing of learning from a speaker, an expert, someone in our community or perhaps in the greater Houston community who can share their insights on how we can increase our togetherness here at Congregation Beth Yeshurun. This evening, it's a pleasure to welcome one of our fellow members who has a lot to teach us, and that's our friend Judy Blake. Judy is the program coordinator for Family to Family Network, a Houston nonprofit that provides programs that empower families of children and young adults with disabilities as they navigate the complex special education, healthcare, and disabilities service systems. Through training, they help individuals with disabilities and their family members define and achieve success for themselves and their loved ones, creating opportunities and possibilities where others see barriers. She strives to change attitudes so that every individual can achieve their best life. Judy is so involved in multiple organizations that benefit our greater community. She serves on the board and is a family faculty member for the Lone Star Lend Program, is the co-coordinator of the Harris County Community Resource Collaboration Group, is chairperson of the Baker Ripley Health Services Advisory Committee. She serves on the board of the University of Houston Clear Lake Center for Autism and Developmental Disabilities. She participates in Project DOCC, Delivery of Chronic Care, sharing the lived experience of medical students and residents regarding the journey of raising an adult son with disabilities. And she serves 2 public advisory committees for the Harris Center for Mental Health and IDD. In addition, she's the very proud single mother of Ryan, a wonderful 26-year-old man who was born with autism spectrum disorder, which at the time was unknown to many. She quickly became his advocate, always ensuring that he was living a meaningful life. And she has succeeded. And it is an honor now to welcome Judy Blake to our Bima.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Have you visited, how am I doing there, Phil? Have you visited the new kosher restaurant that only serves people with disabilities? How about the new Home Depot that only serves people with disabilities? Wait a minute. That's right. That's because they don't exist, nor should they. Words could never express how honored I am to stand before you to discuss why inclusion is so important for people with disabilities. Receiving the phone call from Lily Hurwitz, thank you Lily and Richard Cameraman and the Inclusion Committee, that they wanted me to present was truly humbling for me. Each one of us is brought into this world. We have goals, we have dreams, we have hopes, and we want them to come true. Everyone is born into this world included, yet it is society that chooses to segregate people that it believes are different. Can you imagine how this makes people with disabilities feel? I am here to tell you that different is not less than. The definition of inclusion is the practice or policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, such as those who have physical or mental health disabilities and members of minority groups. People with disabilities are typically devalued and placed into one category. Many in our society believe they don't have feelings, can't make their own decisions, or participate in society in significant ways. Yet so many studies show the exact opposite. When will we all learn that every human being has their own unique strengths and abilities? Please don't misunderstand me. We concentrate on diversity and inclusion of people from different ethnicities, religious beliefs, generations, genders, and sexual orientation. This is important, and we should focus on this. Yet when it comes to inclusion of people with disabilities, we kind of tend to fall short. We also miss the boat when it comes to addressing neurodiversity. There is tremendous stigma cast upon people who are different than us and perceived as not being normal. I want you to know that normal is the setting on your dishwasher or washing machine. It does not apply to people. You may be listening to this and thinking, you know, this really doesn't apply to me. Doesn't apply to my family, so really, why should I care? I've had people tell me that they don't have any family members with disabilities. Really? Really? Statistically speaking, disability affects 26% of the people in the United States. According to the CDC, that means 1 in 4 people. 61 million people. Many people with disabilities are marginalized in school, their place of worship, but not Beth Shuren. Let me clarify that. The community and in the workplace. It can even be worse for people with invisible disabilities. People with mental health disabilities, including schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, they want to lead meaningful lives and to be a part of our community. People with developmental disabilities, including autism, cerebral palsy, learning differences, and intellectual disabilities, they want to be contributing members of society. We have made progress. Believe me, I know we have made progress. But it's not enough. The stigma still exists, and the challenge is to break down these barriers so that everyone, regardless of their ability, is reaching their full potential. Society tends to judge by what they see. And if they can see the disability with their own eyes, they think they understand that person's life and their challenges. What happens when you can't see the disability? When it comes to small children, we understand the tantrums and the unusual behaviors because this can be typical for young children. But what happens when children grow up and they have those tantrums that really now are more like meltdowns, and they are adolescents or adults? Sadly, we become judgmental. We make assumptions. We may distance our children and ourselves because those people are different. Is this the message that we want to send to our children? Children and adults with disabilities are targets of abuse and bullying because they will always be considered less powerful. We will never know the true numbers because so much goes unreported. It is so important to remember that all children learn what they live. If we as adults do not respect and value all human beings, both young and not so young, then we are sending another terrible message to our children. As Rabbi Strauss mentioned, I am the very proud mother of an amazing 26-year-old man with autism and other co-occurring disabilities. And yes, he too was bullied when he was younger. They were some of the most painful years for him and for me. I am very concerned about people like my son who have those invisible disabilities. They look so typical on the outside, yet they're very different on the inside. They're what we call neurodiverse in the disability community. My son loves to play video games, see the latest movie on the big screen, and loves to go out to eat. He's just like everyone else. Is my son welcomed by everyone? I must be honest and tell you that he is not. Is this hard for me? Does it make me sad? Every single day. I won't speak for all people with disabilities, but I can tell you this. Every person that I have encountered, and that is a lot of people through the years, they want friendship. They want to be valued, be accepted for who they are, and opportunities afforded to them just like their peers. It's important to remember that inclusion is not just having people with disabilities physically present, it's a feeling of being welcomed and loved and appreciated. Don't think for a moment that because someone has an intellectual disability or any disability that they don't have feelings. I promise you they do. They have those feelings, and you should care. I thank God we no longer have these massive institutions from the 1950s and 60s where people with disabilities were warehoused under horrific conditions. If you're not sure what I'm referring to, please Google Christmas in Purgatory. You will be horrified. One home was called Land of the Living Dead. So-called patients of these institutions were placed in solitary confinement with hands tied and legs bound. They were stripped of all dignity. Why does it matter so much to me to educate and empower people with disabilities and their families? It is to make sure that we never, ever go back to the days when children with disabilities could not even attend school, when adults with disabilities were segregated from society, when life was chosen for them with no regard for their happiness or their potential. Our incredible Rabbi Strauss and his amazing wife, Lisa, are taking congregants to Poland and Germany. One of the reasons they are doing this is to ensure that we never forget the past and make sure that it is never repeated. The same holds true for people with disabilities. We continue to segregate people with disabilities and will sometimes say, you know, it's really for their health and safety as to why we should separate them from the general public. I believe we should ask the person with the disability or their family what they want. I am a huge proponent of person-centered thinking and person-centered planning. There is a wonderful saying in the disability community, nothing about me without me. This emphasizes that decisions about people with disabilities should be made by people with disabilities. Don't we all want the freedom to choose in our lives? People with disabilities, they are no exception. I believe that inclusion begins in the home with parents, grandparents, family members setting an example. My son is terrified of the flames of a candle. In recent years, we light electric Shabbat candles and an electric menorah. I'm very happy for those inventions, let me tell you. This is so crucial to me so that he too can meaningfully be included in Jewish life and customs. When we go to the movies, I always make accommodations for him so he can enjoy just like everyone else. He always has an aisle seat because he usually needs to get up and pace. Sitting too long can really be challenging for him. I would never want to disrupt the enjoyment of others, and he knows where he can stand or walk around without disturbing the audience. Keep in mind that this is our choice. When we go to restaurants, you can imagine some of the looks that we get while he is flapping his hands, talking to himself, or pacing. Doesn't bother me. I'm just happy that we are out in the community. He used to love to attend Shabbat services as a child. We went to many a Shabbat, and he loved the experience. This changed during adolescence and even more so in his adult years. He knows the synagogue is a safe place, but he doesn't have the same feelings as I do when I worship with the community. I would give anything for his feelings to change. The few times he has attended with me, he has that aisle seat and we sit in the back. I would never want to interrupt the worship experience for my fellow congregants while he is pacing or talking to himself. Again, this is our choice. Other people with disabilities might want to sit in the front. Shouldn't the decision be left up to the person with the disability and their family? I love introducing Ryan to the clergy and people I know because this lays the foundation for that sense of community. I know in my heart that Ryan is not outgoing like I am. And as his parent, I accept that it is what it is, and he is who he is. I will continue to try and expose him to the community because it is that chance that he will make the connection with someone, and just maybe a friendship will develop. So what can you do to make a difference? Go up to someone at synagogue. Introduce yourself. Welcome them. Encourage your children to ask someone sitting by themselves at lunch, at school. Ask them to join them. Ask them to join them on the playground. Hire someone who has a disability. Please don't be scared. People with disabilities are reliable and they want to work. My son is one of them and looking for a part-time job in an office. He types 53 words a minute, performs data entry, he can collate packets, deliver mail, run errands in the building, and he even comes with a free job coach who knows him well and will support him in the workplace. There are so many people like Ryan. They have strengths, they can strengthen your workplace and make important contributions. They may not have eye contact, they may not have social skills, but they are devoted and eager to please. You can make a difference, and so can your children. As our rabbis have so eloquently reminded us in previous sermons, they have quoted the words of Rabbi Hillel in Ethics of Our Fathers. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? And if I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, then when? Again, I thank the Inclusion Committee for including me in this very meaningful Shabbat. I'm truly grateful to stand before you and wish everyone a good Shabbos.
So thank you so much to Judy Blake for all the work that she does in our community, for our children, for our parents, for their parents, for helping this be a place for more people to have what they need as a synagogue and as a city. And in recognition of all of the work that you do and for coming here and sharing who you are and what you do and why it's so important with us, I want to present you with a very nice certificate in recognition of all of your work coming here tonight and in general. So thank you so much. I do what I can. Yasher koach again to Judy for your powerful words and your lived experience as an advocate for the disabled and their loved ones, as well as the mother of, she mentioned, a beautiful son with disabilities. Judy helps all of us to see the humanity in people who are so often thought of as without humanity, which is so counter to how Jewish text urges us to think about our fellow human beings. In the very first book of the Torah, during the creation of the world, we learn that Vayivra Elohim et ha'adam b'tzalmo, that the very first person on whom all others were fashioned was created b'tzelem Elohim, in the image of God. And our medieval rabbis urge us to remember that this line serves to teach us that there is inherent holiness, inherent divinity in every single person. And that to overlook another human being, to think less of them, to care less for them, is to disregard something divine. So thank you again to Judy for all the work that you do to remind us of all of the needs that still exist that is incumbent upon us to fulfill. Thank you to all who made Shabbat Together possible, all the members of the Inclusion Committee who have served our congregation for years. Its mission, the committee's mission, is to promote opportunities for the participation of Jewish people with physical, mental, developmental, or psychological impairments and disabilities, including them and their families in all aspects of synagogue life. It has worked towards this goal by providing assistive devices, you saw some as you walked in, as well as support structures throughout the synagogue, as well as offering programs and events in the synagogue and supporting community efforts in education. This is the 12th year that we celebrate Jewish Disability Awareness and Inclusion Month with our dedicated Shabbat Together. And a huge thank you, because this is no small part due to our entire Inclusion Committee, the tireless efforts of all the members, including and especially co-chairs Richard Kammerman and Rachel Zuckman for the work that they do. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Rabbi Ford. And now we turn to page 56 as we invite guests that are with us for Shabbat Together to help open the Ark. And if you're able to rise, we rise, page 56, as Eli and Sadie lead us in the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabech la'adon hakol, la'teit gidula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoye aratzot, velo samanu kemishbecho chadama, shelo sam helokinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kecho hamonam, ba'anachnu korim, umishtachavim, umodim, livnei melech, mokei hamlahim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu notas shamayim ve'yosed aretz, umoshav yikaro b'shamayim imal, ushinatzu zo, v'gohei meromim, hu Eloheinu enod, eme malkeinu rapazulazo, hakatu v'torato, v'yadatayam, v'hashavota elevaveha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim imal, ve'al haaretz mitachah enod, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech ol kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
And now we've had all those in mourning and all those observing a yahrzeit to remain standing with the words of the mourner's Kaddish. And this week at Beth Yeshurun, we offer condolences to the families of Steve Slatekin, Marlene Lavich Tanner, Robin Deutsch, Earl J. Schneider, and George Douglas Kamens. Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yitzgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh dekol beit Yisrael, b'agalav izman kariv v'yemru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach leolam omei amaya, Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tishbechata v'nechemata, damiram b'alma v'yemru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yemru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yemru amen. You may be seated. We have 4 anniversaries to celebrate this evening. Celebrating their 8th wedding anniversary, a couple that couldn't be with us this evening. We still celebrate their 8th anniversary. Our friends Linda Pravna and Ralph Burdett. Mazel tov. And Linda and Ralph, you're very thankful this past year to have your health and each other's love and companionship. And may that continue to be so for many, many years to come as you celebrate 8 years of marriage. Happy anniversary. Celebrating their 35th year of marriage, Sarah Ellen and Hugh Kaiser. Mazel tov. We're very blessed here at Beth Yeshurun to have Sarah as our B'nai Mitzvah coordinator. In this past year, the two of you, one good thing that happened was that you found out that you're going to become grandparents this April. Congratulations. Your son Adam and his wife Emily, who live in Austin, are expecting a daughter. So can't wait to see you as grandparents. It's hard to believe. As you celebrate 35 years of marriage, I know it's going to be a special one this upcoming year. May the two of you continue to be blessed by only good things. Happy anniversary. Mazel tov. Celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary, Cheryl and Les Wolf. There you are. Mazel tov. Cheryl and Les, you're grateful for continued health and spending memorable time with your children and 6 grandchildren. And may those beautiful grandchildren continue to bless the two of you with only more peace and happiness and more simchas in the years ahead as you celebrate such a wonderful occasion, 47 years of marriage. Mazel tov. Happy anniversary. And watching online this evening, celebrating 58 years of marriage, Joan and Louis Katz. Mazel tov. And Joan and Louis, we missed the two of you, but we're delighted to say this past year you've stayed well. May God continue to bless you with only health and happiness and peace with your family as they continue to grow. And we look forward to many more good occasions with the two of you and your family as you celebrate 58 years of marriage. Mazel tov. It's always special for us at Beth Yeshurun. We have couples celebrating such big milestones, and they set such a good example for couples that are about to get married. And so this evening, I'm very excited to announce proud members, Sandra and Stephen Finkelman. They're here with their son, Seth Finkelman, who's prepared to go under the chuppah this upcoming Monday with his bride, Jessica Robbins, daughter of Kathy Robbins and Stephen Robbins. Jessica and Seth, please come up to the bima and mazel tov.
So it is a pleasure to be standing with you here now, and in I don't know, 48-ish so hours will be right here-ish, celebrating your Jewish wedding. It's so exciting to be able to be here with the two of you. You were asked, what are 3 things that make you work well together as a couple? and Seth and Jessica said, it was that they support each other to accomplish their careers and life goals. Seth is a mechanical engineer at Mitsubishi Forklifts. Jessica's a physician assistant in interventional radiology at MD Anderson. So you're both doing very important, very difficult sciencey things, and you support each other in that. I'm a rabbi. we don't do science. You also, and I know this is true having worked with you over the past several years to make this wedding happen, you value communication and strive to make sure you're always on the same wavelength, which is so important. And finally, you value each other's comfort and happiness above all else. And with these as your bedrock, I know you're going to have such a successful and joyous marriage. I know we all here cannot wait to be a part of your beautiful life that you lead together. So to start you off, presents, because what's a wedding without presents? And more important than all the things in there that will help you to establish your Jewish home is you have, if you look around, an entire community of people. You've got your family and your loved ones and friends and people who will become your friends. And there's no better place to start a Jewish life together and raise a Jewish family than in a good Jewish community. So I'm so happy that this is your home for that. And we can't wait to start the rest of your lives. So can't start the rest of your life without a good blessing. So come just a little closer. Now let's go. So I'll give you the blessings that our ancestors wrote in the Torah, and we give this on Friday nights to our children. One day, God willing, you'll give it for your children as well. So I will say, may God bless you and protect you. May God shine the divine light on you always. May you only be granted the most special of blessings, especially that of shalom, peace, and let us all say, Amen. Mazal tov.
And just a few quick announcements I wanted to share with all of you this evening as we gather together for this Shabbat. Our Worldwide Wrap is this upcoming Sunday, and this is an opportunity to join conservative congregations all over the world. It's always on Super Bowl Sunday. This is a chance for men and women to come together and to put on tefillin. And whether you've done it in the past or never done it before, we'd love to see you. This Sunday morning at 9 a.m., we'll meet for breakfast, and then right afterwards, we'll come into Freeman Levitt, and we'll have a chance to wrap tefillin. That's this upcoming Sunday. Tomorrow, our monthly My Shabbat program was postponed because it's being held outside, and unfortunately, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I know that service will continue next month. This upcoming Wednesday, our Yes Group will be back, and we're looking forward to welcoming all our seniors for lunch and bingo. And there's still space this upcoming Wednesday. Just register by this Sunday evening. And now Rabbi Morgan wanted to share one announcement with us.
So this Thursday night, I'm continuing my Talking to God program on Zoom. You can register for it online. This week, my guest is going to be Father Porter from Jerusalem Peace Builders, and we're going to talk about what does peace look like in our different faith traditions. Peace Builders is an organization that brings together young Jewish and young Arab kids to a summer camp for a week for several years in a row, so that they get to know each other, get to break down the barriers, and create, hopefully, an environment that will eventually lead to peace, which is why it's called peace building. But we're going to talk more theoretically a little bit about how our faith traditions understand peace and the importance of peace, so you can register for that online. It'll be Thursday, 7 o'clock. And then this coming weekend, we're going to have a scholar in residence, Josh Culp, who is the Rosh Yeshiva, the head of the yeshiva in Jerusalem, the conservative yeshiva in Jerusalem. And he is going to be talking about Jews and food. And he's going to talk about what we learned from the Garden of Eden about food on Friday night at the services. And Saturday morning, he'll be talking about cheeseburgers and other delightful things that I don't eat on Saturday morning at lunch. And on Sunday, Yom Limud, he's going to be talking about the Passover Haggadah, because he wrote one of the conservative movement's commentaries on the Haggadah. So he'll be talking about the 4 questions or 3 questions in the Seder. And we also have Rabbi Rosen is going to be at Yom Limud. I'm going to be speaking at Yom Limud with Mark Tobin from the southwest region of ADL. So all of us are going to be on Yom Limud. I hope you register for it. It's all online again this year. You can register and then take whatever classes you'd like. So those are exciting things coming up.
And finally, I want to again wish Mazel Tov to our very proud B'nai Mitzvah. Where'd they go? Where are they? Oh, there they are, right there. I see Sadie, and there's Eli right there. Mazel Tov to the 2 of you. I have to say, every B'nai Mitzvah is special to me, but this one's a little extra special. Sadie and Eli are members of my wife's family, and so extended family for me. And to have Anna, your older sister, a few years ago, had her bat mitzvah here in Houston. And Sam, your bar mitzvah here at Beth Yeshurun virtually a few years ago. Thank God we can be in person now for the twins, for Eli and Sadie. And really knowing you so well, seeing you grow up to these beautiful children, now beautiful young adults. And I look forward to celebrating with your family. I see your proud grandmothers, one of your proud grandfathers. I know your grandfather Miguel is shining above. And how happy you must be that his generations, Judaism is continuing in his family. So I look forward to celebrating with your proud parents and your entire family tomorrow morning as you officially become B'nai Mitzvah. Mazel tov to the two of you. And now I invite our B'nai Mitzvah to come up and all of our children that are here. I see a lot of children tonight. We got some proud cousins that are here, some other children that are here. We'd love to have you come up to the Bima to help our B'nai Mitzvah in leading the Kiddush. And for all of our children, for all of our sons, we say, Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim ve'ke'Menashe. May God bless you like Ephraim and Menashe and all the wonderful sons of our tradition. And for our daughters, we say, Yisimech Elohim ke'Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, ve'Leah. May God bless our daughters like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And may God always bless all of our children with peace. And let us say, Amen. And now, if you're able, please rise for the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishi, ki yom tehila lemikre kodesh, zeher yitzirat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kiddushta mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, me'atesh hashabai.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.